Outcast United was a very interesting book to me. It made me remember as a kid when I was growing up. I played on a team that was full of Hispanic players. The Hispanic players ranged from being Honduran, Salvadorian, and Mexican. Our team was an individual team. It wasn't like Futura out here in KC. It was only a lonely team. We were just by ourselves. We would just practice at a park. It was nothing big. We would only do it for recreational purposes, because most of the parents of the players were illegal immigrants, so they had a big responsibility on trying to get food on the table for their kids, for their wives. Their wives would stay at home. Their wives couldn't find jobs. The only jobs they were able to find was like construction work, because they didn't have papers, illegal. So it was hard for them. They couldn't pay for their apartment. Sometimes it was hard to pay for their living. Most of them didn't have cars. Another way that I was able to relate to the book was as a kid, on I want to say the second chapter of the book, where there was a shooting of the kid in the park. Since we would practice in the bad side of town, in Oak Cliff back in Dallas. The bad side of town. We were in the middle of our practice session. Good sunny day. We heard a shooting. We heard cop sirens. From the corner of our eye, we saw the cop chasing the car, and the car was shooting back at the cop. So we all ran, took cover. It was a very scary moment for me as a kid growing up. Seeing all these things made me realize and just be thankful that I had the parents that I had, that they would support me, and my mom would just keep food on the table even though she had her own struggles. The third and final reason that I was able to connect to the book was my mom. She relates so much to Luma. Luma would help the refugees with anything that she could. My mother did the same. Growing up, I saw my mother do more things than I had ever seen her do. She would help the refugees with like money. She would also help them with food. She would invite them to dinner after they would bring me back home from practices, bring me back home from games. She would also invite them if they needed any clothes and stuff like that. We always had extra clothes, so she would always give them clothes. Even though my mother had her own struggles, my father died when I was the age of 6. So my mom had to take care of me and my one younger sister and one older sister. So she had to take care of all three of us, and she still managed to help out all of our players, and I'm just so thankful that she was able to do that.
One way that I can relate to the book Outcast United is because being a college student, right when I turned 18, I decided to move out of my house and get a duplex closer to Maple. What I didn't know is all the payments that I would take on. I have to pay for rent, I pay for my car, my phone bill, utilities on top of rent, and I never had to pay anything ever. My parents would always support me, and I never realized how poor I became until I lost my job. That was really hard, trying to find a different job and trying to get back up off my feet after that had happened. During that time, my parents did help me, but I'm really thankful that they took their time and money to make sure that I was okay and do everything in their power that they could to make sure that I would move on with my life and not be stuck in a bad rut. Another way that I can relate to this book is because Luma was a very, very, very good coach. She would do everything that she could for the kids, and I also had a coach like that. I went to him for anything, and whatever I need, money. If I just needed to talk, he would talk to me. And he's actually the reason why I got to play soccer here at Maple, because he left our club team, and the coach at Maple, Timo, ended up coaching the club team that I was on, and so I got the opportunity to know Timo and talk to him, and I became really close with him also. I think that Luma was a very good role model for the refugees because, like Alberto said, she would do whatever she could and she didn't care. Like, if she couldn't support them, she would try every way possible to do it, and I know that the refugees are really thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the coach that was there for me. I feel like all in all, Outcast United was an incredible book, and we're really glad that we got the opportunity to read it.
Go Outcast United!